Oaxacan specialties stand out at Frank's unpretentious spot, where beautifully plated options burst with southern Mexican flavor. There are some menu surprises too, from the handmade tortillas to, yes, potato chips. You'll find it all in downtown Pleasant Hill at El Aguila Mexican Cuisine.
I came here in 1991, and my first job was a dishwasher. And from that moment, I started to climb the ladder, just little by little. You become to respect yourself and your profession, you know. My name is Daniel Patlan, and here's my restaurant, El Aguila. When you see the Mexican flag, the first thing you see is the eagle, the El Aguila. Mexico is so many states that each town is different, you know, with different herbs, different ways to prepare the same things. Here in El Aguila, we try to do a good quality product because we're gonna eat that food too. You know, I'm gonna bring that food to my house because I don't have time to cook it too. So, and that is important for me. I don't wanna give anyone else the food that I don't wanna eat. What can I say about my wife? She's in charge of the drinks, margaritas. Actually, she's my boss. I mean, she's amazing. I learn from her, and I do this because I want to make her happy. Honestly, that is the most important thing for me, is to make my wife happy. My goal here in El Aguila is after you eat, you feel good yourself. You know, you feel healthy. You feel with energy. You know.
All right, Frank, how did you find this spot?
Actually, we were listening to the radio. It was advertising, you know, Mexican food made with Mary's chicken or Nyman Ranch beef. You know, integrity was right up our alley. So we went in, a little taqueria style, and we noticed that the beautiful woman behind the counter, she had waited on us at a 4-star Italian restaurant, you know, years ago. Found out her and her husband started this wonderful.
He's the
chef, Chef Oscar,
right,
who has cooked at many 4-star restaurants, and he wanted to take something and really present it. So we ordered some stuff, and to my surprise, the next question was, would you like potato chips? Right? You know, potato chips. Where am I, right? Aren't I in a Mexican restaurant? And they're fresh fried potato chips, dusted with a little chili, served with a nice hot pureed salsa. It was great anticipation for your meal. So
totally spot on. This is an unexpected surprise.
Yeah.
I'm a Mission Burrito guy, so like I was pleasantly surprised by this place. You know, the salsa was great. It had a good amount of heat, probably maybe not too much heat. Everything was just delicious.
You know, I have to say, I felt like this was artfully presented Mexican cuisine that was definitely a step above.
Yeah.
We had the empanadas, which was served beautifully on the plate with some queso fresco on the bottom of the plate, with shavings of crisp green cabbage on top that just added a little pop of flavor and texture to that dish. It was just beautiful.
It's the fresh and the cooked
that's
together, right?
That gives it the perfect combination.
I had a potato and poblano burrito. I figured that the tortilla was fresh made there, but it was like delicious. And like usually, you know, potatoes inside a burrito get overly cooked or mushy, or everything was just well done. They were firm and delicious and soft and tender all at the same time, and very flavorful.
My favorite thing to start off with is the tostada chicken tenga. So it's this chicken that's marinated with chipotle and caramelized onion, shredded on top of a crispy tostada. When you bite into the chicken and that final crunch at the end, it's
You're an all senses guy. You like the sound and the smell.
Yeah,
and the
well, that's
feel.
what it's all about.
Yeah, of course.
I never order a chile relleno because it's usually this, you know, poblano chili that's fried and stuffed with all this cheese,
and
right?
Gooey and, yeah.
Well, they do it different. They don't batter it, and they roast it or bake it, but inside is a picadillo, which is, it's kind of like ratatouille meets ground beef. So stuffed inside, nice and fresh, a little bit of cheese on top, you know, in a roasted tomato sauce. The best part about it that my wife and I believe is that when you eat there and you come home, you feel good. And that's very important.
Not heavy dishes.
Yeah, there's such an effort to it, right? When my wife had the taquitos this last time, and on one half of the plate, it was a bed of roasted tomato sauce, and on the other half was a chile verde, and you didn't know until you spun the plate. Just the small things.
You can tell it's homemade and fresh and prepared with love, and that's what we really loved about it. So we had the carne asada burrito that was just a mission-style burrito wrapped beautifully in a brown paper wrapping and filled with deliciousness. We just loved everything.
Did you feel like you got value?
I definitely did. The food was wonderful. They could have charged me more, and I would have been okay with that.
And you're shaking your head, yes.
I totally agree with you. You are getting high quality, well-crafted, artisanally presented food that just was a treat to eat.
And not too spicy.
And not too spicy.
And what about desserts?
Okay, this place, they make these corn cakes. It's like a fallen souffle, and it's just soft and almost pudding-like on the inside.
We loved the Mexican wedding cookies. They had a little hint of lemon, a nice round sized cookie that was more than a bite, and it was such a nice way to end the meal. They're calling my name.
All right, this is your spot. Frank, wrap it up for us.
If you're looking for fresh, delicious, authentic Mexican recipes that are a little bit upscale, and you want to feel good about the food you're eating, try El Aguila.
So if I'm in the East Bay, I think I'd make a detour to go back, and I definitely want to try a little bit more of their menu items.
And Jerry?
You've never eaten at a taqueria like this, and that's actually a good thing. I mean, this place is on point. Execution is amazing. It's delicious. I'm definitely going back.
All right, if you would like to try El Aguila Mexican cuisine, it's located on Contra Costa Boulevard near Ellingwood Drive in Pleasant Hill. The telephone number is 925-682-4444. It's open for lunch and dinner Tuesday through Sunday. Reservations are not accepted, and the average dinner tab per person without drinks is around $20.
Check Please Bay Area is made possible by the members of KQED and by IRG has in-trend surfaces, quieter marbles, and rare exotics. Over 10,000 slabs in stock today. IRG in Brisbane and Dublin and at marblecompany.com.
Mattress systems from European Sleepworks, working to improve comfort and wellness for over 40 years. At Adeline and Ashby in Berkeley. Online at sleepworks.com.
Oakland International Airport. Now with flights all over the world. iFlyOAK.com.
Sutter Health CPMC, 7,000 employees, nurses, and physicians caring for their communities every day. Your city, your hospital. CPMC2020.org. La Tour Angèle Artisan Oils, French-inspired and handcrafted in Northern California. La Tour Angèle creates natural, healthy cooking oils that add new flavor to everyday dishes.
Support for KQED comes from Total Wine & More, offering more than 8,000 wines, 2,500 beers, and 3,000 spirits. Total Wine & More, now with 6 Bay Area locations.